Hear me out, folks. Clearly we have nothing but a bunch of rotten potatoes sitting around our governmental offices, doing nothing but fingering themselves, and probably each other up the ass. So while their fingers are getting filthy, I've come up with a great, foolproof plan that can save this country. You ready? Florida, Texas, Arizona, Louisiana, Alabama, and New Mexico need to secede. South California needs to be its own state, starting topographically at Los Angeles, and any city in any county of the Los Angeles region or San Diego can be the capital city. Whatever. SoCal needs to become its own state so that it can secede and become its own border state with the others, and all the border states can separate from the union of this country, as they were fucking supposed to do anyway. Now I know everyone is scared of this idea, thinking only about money. But we'll still have Nevada and Vegas, we'll still have NYC, we'll still have Chicago if that counts as a big city with a high GDP. We'll be fine. One option is to follow the direction of my mouse. We as a union can keep those states, but the region that my mouse cuts off will secede and essentially become to the USA what Hong Kong and Singapore are to China, semi- or fully autonomous city-states. If you notice, the major and also the most problematic port cities of each state except New Mexico automatically in a row get cut out with this plan: SoCal, Phoenix, Houston, New Orleans, Mobile, and majority of Florida. If those cities leave, crime and poverty in this country will probably be cut in half immediately. Also, the secession of even just portions of these key states creates new borders within the United States mainland that are essential to national security. Or, the border states in their entirety secede. The border states need to secede as either its own single republic country, and they remain states in that new nation, or they just become individual sovereign state republics that are not a part of the United States Union. We can't have this shit anymore. Look at the map, folks. Look at this shit. We'll get to the nightmare that is LA in a minute. Look at the American map. Look how ridiculous this is. We share land with another country, and we're not exactly getting along. If you didn't know, NYC and probably other places in the United States Union are currently overrun with dozens if not hundreds of thousands of illegal weirdo migrants who weaseled their asses in here simply because Florida and Texas are a part of the Union. If Florida and Texas seceded long ago, or as soon as possible, for the sake of this fucking country, the migrants would have never made it. They'd have to get through multiple borders. Currently, they only have to get through one, the federal border. It's simply not good enough. If those states were sovereign or just not America anymore, whatever their following status would become, then they'd also have to get through their borders. If Texas were its own state, for instance, its whole outline on the map would be a new border. Currently, only the portion of the outline connected to Mexico is a border. As its own autonomy or republic or state, the entire polygon of this state would be a limit to cross. This means they can't get into the bordering states either. They'd essentially just be trapped in Texas. And Texas is a gun-crazy state. Most of our recent headline shootings come from Texas. So Texans will protect themselves probably even more as an independent state, and they'll be fine. And the other states will be fine as well, because their entire border will be a virtual force field as well. This protects the remaining United States Union from invaders probably more than 50% than the national security protection it currently has. Let's start with the issues for each of these states. We already know them, but I'll post a few standout ones. Florida.
Coming out from the cabin, one individual came out with a ski mask on. They're at the north side of the church. North side of the church. Stop the boat! East side, just south of the bridge. bridge. They are now crashing into the seawall. They are now on landfall, headed running eastbound. Pop unit, if you're en route, they are about a block south of Atlantic.
Oh, fuck!
Three more people on that side. Hey, go.
Fuck! Running eastbound on the east side. The bridge is up, though, at Atlantic. Eastbound! Across.
So units that just took one into custody over here on the beach. I need you guys, a couple of you, to walk out here. We have some under the dock.
Now,
I was not fighting when you come at me.
Need I fucking say more? Let Florida deal with this shit on their fucking own. It's not like being in the United States Union helps them at fucking all anyway. Might as well leave. Meanwhile in Alabama. Did you forget? I didn't.
Confrontation in the corner of the
God bless America. Who knows what else crosses those waters into this country? Louisiana, actually. I won't even bother posting footage of them. I'll just say, Katrina probably wouldn't have ever even happened if Louisiana was its own state in the first place. Then it wouldn't have had to wait for FEMA. It would have long ago had its own emergency system and aid that would have quickly been supplied. That's what countries do. If it were its own city-state sovereign nation, they would have been fine. It'll also be less money on the United States Union pockets to repair areas that get destroyed by natural or civil disaster if these states were their own nations. Not to mention, though there are atrocities occurring every Mardi Gras, New Orleans, and thus the sovereign state of Louisiana would make even more bank if people had to pay to get into Louisiana as a sovereign state or New Orleans as a sovereign city to attend Mardi Gras. So far, people just attend. Imagine having to pay to attend. You'll do it, because you do it all the time to get into Disney World or to go to Cancun or Jamaica. It'll be no different now. Now New Orleans will be an exotic getaway, not just a ratchet getaway. But back to the border issue and national security. Natural disasters and migrant portals occurring in Louisiana or just even New Orleans and neighboring places will be their issue going forward, and thus they can tackle it better because it'll be a smaller, more direct problem. Not the countries. Texas. I also won't be furnishing video proof that Texas is a mess. We already know it is. Every time I turn around, in just the past 2 to 5 years, there's a mass shooting, and it happened in Texas. Just Google Texas shooting. It's actually hilarious. I was going to just look up a case I already heard about regarding a Texas school shooting, and the cops stood outside and waited while dozens of children and staff were massacred. Remembered? But upon Googling, I ended up seeing 4 separate news headlines on page 1 of the results from this month alone. Watch. See? That's not even the news report I was looking for. But Texas made it easy for me and has an endless supply of crime to report on. Thanks, Texas. With that being said, get the fuck out of here, okay, babes? You guys can take your shitty gun laws and battle the Rio Grande perils on your damn own. Why would you want this in your country? Now, this isn't about being anti-Texas. It's about the United States mainland lacking basic national security, so if it's probably most problematic state, and problematic regarding, not just the border, but their own weird crimes, seceded and automatically subsequently developed an entire border for itself as a former state that's now sovereign, that doubles the border per new sovereign state for the United States. It also protects Texas, because they can patrol their independent borders however they deem fit. They seem to have shooting people senselessly down pat anyway. Take all that energy to the border. Next is New Mexico. The proof is in the name. Need I say more? But what does New Mexico do anyway? Nothing. We don't need it. Get the fuck out. Next. Arizona. This new plan to make portions of every southern border state secede independently or into one sovereign republic nation wipes Phoenix right the fuck out. And thank God. No, because, look.
Cracking. I've been waiting on you. So today is Sunday. Sunday football day. And I'm out here on the Blade. We're just going to see real quick if there's any girls out here on the Blade. If you're not, what's up, guys? I've been waiting on you. Check it out. Already. Komodo right there. How long this one takes to get picked. What up, Lizard Gang? Old Bunny. I think we got a winner. Professional cameraman. Winner, chicken dinner. Who does right there talking on?
But wait. There's more. So tell me, would you really miss Phoenix if the bastard shithole seceded? Not only does it give us nothing as a country except trauma and all the wrong statistics skyrocketing in rates, it's a border city, in a border state. Just fuck off and secede. And now, we've come to the grand finale, my friends. The moment we've all been waiting for. South California. I have a lot of issues with this place. And will leave shamelessly scantily clad streetwalkers on Figueroa Street and sex trafficking across the border and soft white underbelly and Skid Row out of this. This is more so about how disgustingly and stupidly big the region of Los Angeles is. I have a lot of issues with this place. And will leave shamelessly scantily clad streetwalkers on Figueroa Street and sex trafficking across the border and soft white underbelly and Skid Row out of this. This is more so about how disgustingly and stupidly big the region of Los Angeles is. Just look at all this bullshit, will you? About 200 cities and too many damn people. If the Wikipedia page just a single region has to be this fucking big, something's wrong. I don't even think China's Wikipedia page is this damn long. And we're just on Los Angeles megalopolis. Not even the state of California. That's why the counties including their unincorporated communities need to fuck off into one big clusterfuck. Take San Diego with you. And you guys can just do your own fucking thing. No, really, I promise. It'll be fine. You guys have a huge GDP, but also lots of homelessness and blatant crime in broad daylight. So you can get your shit together with your enormous wealth on your own. But if you became your own state or even nation, you'd make even more money, guys. Because people would have to pay to enter you. Imagine that. Side note, why the fuck is there apparently a whole road or highway here, connecting another fucking country to our fucking country? Do you see this? Tell me how this could be a good fucking idea. Tell me. I'll wait. Would you just have a walkway connecting your living room to the local prison? Would you? No, right? Or, imagine if your child's school had one connecting to a strip club? A convenient walkway leading the strip club parking lot to the school playground. Would you? So then why does a country in a different continent have a simple road granting access to another continent? Does that make sense to you? If they want to enter the country for tourism, they can fucking take a plane and land in an airport, like everyone else. None of this walking across a bridge shit. What the fuck? Look. It says here, the Southern California megalopolis, which extends into Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Can someone fucking explain why? Anyone? The most vulnerable place ever has made themselves more vulnerable? Does anyone have an explanation? No? Didn't think so. Why is San Diego hyphenated with Tijuana? Why? They are two different countries and two different continents. Boundaries naturally need to be established. It makes no sense to conjoin them like this. Now, I don't actually fucking care what happens to Los Angeles and California. I really don't. I want it to get worse, so much worse, that they get the kick up the ass they need once and for all. But in the meantime? What the fuck, guys? Do we have a road connecting to China? I don't care about the feasibility. Do we fucking have one? No. There's no bridge allowing Chinese to drive into the United States. Don't say it can't be done. It can. That's how Native Americans apparently got here anyway, walking across ice bridges from Asia. Sounds ridiculous, but that's what they teach you and people believe it. So I'm sure a paved bridge or a tunnel can be built. But there isn't one. And China still manages to have exports and expats. We don't need a fucking road or a highway or a bridge to still do business with them and get tourists and immigration. And we actually need China for these things. We don't need Mexico, not even for drugs. We can grow our own cannabis, we don't need you. We can go to other countries and get drugs, we don't need you. So why on earth did they accept this handshake policy? Why? It's dangerously stupid. Again, I don't care. But you can't complain as a country about migration and gangs and trafficking when you ignore that there's a fucking road connecting another continent inside of cities within ours. So since that relationship obviously isn't going anywhere since it was formed with intent, then South Cali can just keep that relationship going by its damn self. Well, I'm all tuckered out now. I've made my point. We don't need any of these places, and they can do fine on their own. What with LA's GDP, and Texas's gun freedom, and Florida and Alabama and New Orleans being their bright loving selves, they will fare on their own just fine. Commerce and their economy will grow since you'll have to pay to enter their sovereign cities or states or republic. Texas can shoot people up without outcry from those pesky Democrats. Florida can be Florida in private now. More brawls and incest can continue in Sweet Home Alabama. New Mexico can continue to be irrelevant in peace, but perhaps paying to enter the quote land of enchantment will give them all the economic health they clearly fucking need. Lizards and hookers can strut their stuff even prouder across Phoenix and South California. Doesn't that sound great? Homeland security for the United States will be better than ever. And we will continue to flourish without them. We won't even know they've been gone.